Hi, I'm Marissa Peer, and I've been a therapist for a long time, actually 30 years, which is a long time. And for the last several years, I've been seeing more and more clients who come in and their issue is that they have what I call a money block. They're not always poor, some of them earn a lot of money, but they seem to have the same problem in that they just can't make enough money to survive on. And even if they are making quite a good salary, they can't seem to keep money. So they either say, I can't make money, I don't know how to make more money, I don't know how to get more money, and I can't keep the money I've got. It seems to slip through my fingers. I run out of week, and then I run out of money. And what that makes them feel is powerless and helpless and also worthless. And as a therapist, I know that I can help them because most money issues are actually not solved by having more money. And I know that to be true because guess what? 70% of lottery winners end up completely broke. So if you think you can solve a money problem with more money, here's proof that you can't. If you haven't got the right relationship with money, then having more money doesn't solve it. So let me give you an example. I worked with a client, for instance, who was a very successful professional, and her accountant said, I don't understand why you're not making more money. You make the same every year and you should be making more. She said, I don't understand either. All my colleagues make more than me, but I'm kind of stuck in this money time warp. As it happened, she was the daughter of two doctors who certainly weren't poor. They divorced. And she was telling me in her therapy that her mother would say every time she saw the father, ask your dad for money, tell him you need a coat, tell your dad you need shoes, ask your dad for money for your swimming lessons, ask your dad for money for the school trip. She said, I was so embarrassed because my mum had as much money as my dad and she would never ask him. I had to ask him. And she said, and in the end I just didn't ask him because I felt so bad. That was interesting because here was her problem. She wouldn't invoice her client, so she didn't get paid. She wouldn't put her fees up, so she was in this time warp. And it all went back in time to a little girl who was horrified and embarrassed and humiliated, saying to her dad, Dad, can I have money for a coat? And he'd go, ask your mum. And then her mum would say, why didn't you get the money for the coat? And because this played out in her life, here was a belief, I just can't ask for money. I don't like to discuss. You know, we all know people who say, I hate talking about money. Oh, I don't like to discuss money. I can't ask for what I'm worth. When people owe me money, I never say, by the way, can I have it back? And if you don't ask, people think, oh, they don't need it. They never asked for it. They don't care about money. They haven't asked for a pay rise. So whatever is going on in your childhood, amazingly, will affect you. And I know that too, because one of my graduates was saying that every time she asked clients for money and she put it away, she couldn't spend it. She would get terrified. She had a memory of her mother had 4 jars: school clothes, bills, food, emergencies. And when she needed to get shoes, her mother would take the money out of the bills jar and would cry and panic. Oh my God, I don't know where the money's coming from. And this often is what happens with clients. We learn what we live. When you have people who say, money doesn't grow on trees, we haven't got the money, I don't know where to get the money from. And I have many, many millionaires who worry about money, won't put on their heating, can't spend money because they too, even with all their money, have a money block. So that's interesting, but the good news is that you can change it. So with all my clients, with the girl who simply couldn't ask for more, with a girl who couldn't spend the money she had and had to hold it very tightly, with a client who wouldn't even put on his own heating, what is so effective is going back and having a look at how did you get to be this way? So my little girl was little and I said, what do you want for Christmas? She said, I'd like a palace and a horse and a swimming pool. And she wasn't greedy. Small children have a belief that everything is available. And when I said to her, you know, Joan, that's a lot of money, she went, oh, Mummy, you don't buy it. The elves make it. It's all completely free. So children have a belief everything is there. There's enough to go around. They don't worry about the cost because they haven't been programmed, wired and conditioned to, we can't afford that. That costs money. Don't waste money. So with each of my clients, uncovering what lies beneath the money blocks was the thing that transformed them. First of all, we had a look at where did you get these beliefs from, and then we removed them. It's like being a detective. Let's have a look, a little detective work here, where we got them. And then it's like being a dentist. Now we're going to extract them, get rid of them, and leave you with a belief there is enough money to go around. And when you give something of value, you can be rewarded, because the top 20% in every classification, in every field, in every area, are never, ever, ever out of work, even in a recession. And that's very good news if you're a therapist. So what I do is I do give value. I change people in one session. I do detective-like work to find out what's gone wrong. I do extraction to remove it. I put them back to where they should be. I make them themselves only better. I change people in one session. I free them and I empower them. That's really what I do. I empower people and I set them free from all their blocks, whether they're money or sexual or fear-based. Now, we all know people who need help with money. We all know people who have these blocks and these worries and these fears that it might run out, or that costs too much, or I can't afford it, or what if I spend that money and I don't get more? And it's really exciting and very, very empowering to be able to transform people using my method, RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy. And the reason it works is it is formulaic, in that I've designed a formula, what I call the formula for success. And actually anybody can do it. Many of the people I train who go on to be phenomenal therapists have no therapy training whatsoever, no background in psychology, no degree. For instance, we've trained firemen and police officers and beauticians to be phenomenal RTT therapists. If you would like to do what I do, if you would like to transform people, after all, we all want to change the world, but that's a big ask, changing the world. How about changing people? That's how I do my bit. If you change people, you are changing the world, and it's fun. It's actually easy. It's incredibly transforming, and it feels so good. So if you are interested in changing your own life by changing other people's lives and giving something of phenomenal value, so you become in that top 20% who are always busy, always employed, always happy, and always fulfilled, then just click below and talk to one of my graduates who were where you were once. They were thinking, is this course for me? Can I do it? Can I make it a success? We only have you speak to trained, successful graduates who are there to answer all your questions. Is this for you? Are you for this? Remember, there is actually enough money in the world for everyone. There's enough to go around. People are in absolute poverty. Some people are in luxury, but there is enough for everyone, including you. See you soon.